I want to welcome you into Talk of the Town this week right here on C19 TV. I'm your host, Tim Foster. So great to have you along. Happy August. Wow, it is hard to believe it is August. And it is always great to have these two ladies with us from Washington Outreach Ministries. First of all, I want to say hey to Reverend Francis Weber. And Reverend Weber, thanks for being back on Talk of the Town.
Thank you for allowing us to come back.
And also a big part of that is Carolyn Behringer. Carolyn, thanks for being back on Talk of the Town.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, we're going to talk Washington Outreach Ministries this entire show today, and a couple of big events that are going to be coming up as we head on into the fall and beyond. And I tell you, this is one of the great organizations in Cleveland County, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't heard about Washington Outreach Ministries, and I'm going to start with you, Francis. There may be a few folks, some of our viewers, out there. Maybe we got a lot of new folks that live in Cleveland County now.
Yeah.
And they may be saying, Washington Outreach Ministries, what is that? Well, give me a little bit of overview of the history of Washington Outreach Ministries. And it is a true ministry and what you offer as we're going to kind of kick off today's show talking about that, Francis.
Okay. Well, Washington Outreach Ministry is a grassroots ministry. It's a nonprofit 501c3. It's 30 years in the making.
Wow.
When I say grassroots, I mean we started from the ground up. And it's amazing what we have accomplished over the past 30 years. It took a lot of networking and collaboration and relationship and partnership to be able to do what we're doing now to impact all of Cleveland County. So it's a lot of hard work. And we're just excited to be able to share with the community because we want to be the talk of the town.
Yes.
We feed about 15,000 people a month. That number has probably gone up. We need to revisit to get the new number out. We're the hub for Second Harvest Food Bank of Metrolina. We're the largest emergency food pantry in Cleveland County. We network with 20 other faith-based food pantries throughout the county. And the county depends on Washington Outreach Ministry to supply food, especially into the food insecure area. And anytime we get an opportunity to share information, we always talk about the statistics because 1 out of every 6 adults in Cleveland County deals with food insecurity. When you think about children, it's 1 in every 4. So
some powerful numbers.
Yeah, to be an emergency food pantry of the county, and the county depends on what we do for the county. It is just amazing, and we just like to always share that story because there's sometimes people still in the county that don't know about the Washington Outreach Ministry, and we want to make sure that they know if there's any population in the communities that are facing hunger, that they can come to Washington Outreach Ministry. We don't turn anyone away. It's a ministry for all people.
Yeah. And that's powerful, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard some of the numbers there. And, Carolyn, I'll kind of come your way now. You think about in our country, some of the things we've just seen over the last couple of months where folks are in need. We think about floods.
Wow.
Right.
We've seen earthquakes. We know we're kind of getting right into the hurricane season, and we know with Helene being almost, we're about a year away from the anniversary of that unbelievable devastation that occurred here. But, I think Francis said it perfectly, even in this county. There's such a need.
It
Talk
really
a little
is.
bit about the need in this county.
The need in this county, with funds being cut 50%, that's going to hurt our schools. Not only our schools, but our communities. The people that are low income. Like even our teachers. Because when you talk about food insecurity, and with the summer, some of the kids are out during the summer, so there you got to have more food for the kids, and so it's really affecting the whole community, not just the schools, but the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Francis, obviously things can change for any family, any individuals. And I think a lot of people think when they first hear about your ministries, well, you're only helping maybe folks that have just been struggling for years financially, maybe could be homeless, could be dealing with, maybe had a financial scenario where they had a health issue that led them to that. And that may be part of it, but it's much more than that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, our feeding program really has hit a lot of homes, even as Carolyn mentioned, the budget cut. You got families, married couples that can't support themselves. When you think about paying the rent and the utilities and medical, and then if you have children, and then you have to go to the grocery store to get food. I mean,
Yeah.
people are in real need. And we have people to come in that don't mind sharing their story and said if Washington Outreach Ministry was not doing this, we have no idea what we would do. And at this right now, this is our last week of summer camp, and we've had 30 children all summer.
Wow.
And those children, when they come in to eat, we feed them breakfast, we feed them lunch. We keep them from 7:30 to 4 in the afternoons, and you watch those kids eat. It's just like, oh wow, do they really get enough food when they're at home? Do they get anything when school's out?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something to really think about.
You know, Carolyn, I've talked to a lot of people through the years, friends of mine that are teachers, and, you know, unfortunately, we're in a time where sometimes for a lot of the students and children, their best meals are during the school year.
That's correct.
They really struggle during the summer. And Carolyn, just talk about the cost of living now. We're talking about food prices. I mean, it's really remarkable, not just food prices, but a lot of things in general and how they've gone up.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's affected you guys and what
Yes.
you're seeing as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the prices of everything is going up, and you know, just like the rent, you know, the rent is going up. You know, some people rent for like 1,200, now it's 18.
Yeah.
You know, the prices of that going up, and like you say, the kids, the prices of food is extremely high,
Yes.
and especially dairy products and fresh fruits and vegetables. It is so high. So you know, if sometimes it comes between, am I going to be able to buy food or am I going to be able to pay my rent? So if we have a facility that's going to give you food, and this is free food, just come in, free food, then that's what we're there for. We're there to help.
It's an unbelievable ministry, Washington Outreach Ministries, and that's what we're talking about this week on Talk of the Town. Reverend Weber, before we take our first break, and because we got a lot to talk about during this show, talk a little bit about the process. You know, a lot of people, we talk about what you guys offer, which is a phenomenal service right now in Cleveland County and in some cases in the surrounding areas. But talk about the process. Talk about the preparation. This doesn't just happen. You get up one morning in a few hours and everything's ready. What's a week like in preparation? Talk to our viewers about that.
Well, we have a lot of volunteers to come in, and we're grateful for the volunteers that have come in this summer. We've had volunteers that come in as far as Florida, from Florida and Georgia for the past couple of weeks. They come in and help us prep. We have some of our grantors to come in and help prep the school system, the homeless shelter. We consider ourselves the volunteer hub of Cleveland County because so many people come in, and we could not do what we do without the support of the community.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, when they come in, they're bagging, they're packing, they're stocking shelves, they're sorting, they're maybe loading cars. If they can drive forklifts, hey, we need forklift drivers. If you have retired and have time to come unload trucks, because we unload trucks, sometimes we have 10 trucks a week, and those trucks come to Washington Outreach because we have the dock.
Yeah.
And most of the other
Yeah.
food entities don't have docks. They're faith-based.
Yeah, so you need folks that can
we need-
lift. You need folks that not only do you need the elements of, you know, maybe helping stock, but you need those guys
We need the
and
manpower.
gals.
Yeah.
We need the
Manpower.
manpower.
We say manpower,
Yeah.
but there's some ladies that can
Yes.
do it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot
but,
of work.
But
Yeah.
that's crucial, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of heavy work, and thank God that we have a lot of great volunteers that don't mind coming, giving their time back, saying, I'm giving back to the community. Our oldest volunteer is Miss Hogue. She's 96 years old.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and we have some that's upper 80s, Miss Winnie, and some that are getting up in the age, but they come every Wednesday and every Friday saying, hey, this is my opportunity to give back. And Sister Nan, she comes and helps us. And I like to honor our volunteers, especially our seniors, because they're really the foundation of how we build our ministry on. Because some of these ladies have been with us for the whole 30 years that we started the ministry.
Wow,
and they're still giving back.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, it really is. And before we go to break, I want our producer, Holly Hammer, to pop up that website because that is really a crucial aspect. And you see the number there, 704-718-7244. Talk about where you're located at, Francis.
We're on Capernaum Road, 2007 in Capernaum Road in Cherryville.
Yeah.
And there's a story behind Capernaum.
Yeah, tell me the story on that.
Yes.
I didn't know if I had time. But
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
that's where Jesus started his headquarters in the Bible. they would not allow him
That's right.
to do it in Nazareth. And they say he came to his own and they
Yep.
received him not. So he just went around the corner by the Sea of Galilee and he came to Capernaum and he set up his ministry on Capernaum. And we're at 2007, and 2007 is a year of completion. And to be on Capernaum where Jesus
Yeah.
started his ministry is amazing because this
Yeah.
whole ministry is faith-based.
Yeah.
I don't think that's just by chance.
No, I don't think so
I don't
either.
think so.
I
Not
don't
with
think
not
so.
as well with what this ministry is doing. That's a great story, isn't it?
It is. It
It's a
is.
pretty amazing story.
Yes.
Well, ladies, hang out, and you at home, hang out. Go get you a beverage because when we come back, we're going to talk about some more aspects of Washington Outreach Ministries, a wonderful organization in Cleveland County and the surrounding areas. We're going to talk about a couple of big events that'll be coming up in the months ahead with Washington Outreach Ministries. It's so great to have you along. We'll take a break and we'll have more talk of the town right after this. Join us for our 23rd season of Armchair Quarterback on C19 TV. Each week we look at the 4A Burns Bulldogs, the 5A Crest Chargers, the 6A Kings Mountain Mountaineers, and the 3A Shelby Golden Lion. We will also discuss ACC, SEC, and Gardner-Webb football, along with the Carolina Panthers. Armchair Quarterback premieres August 18th on C19 TV and online at c19.tv.
Tune in to Senior Moments here on C19 TV. I am Jackie Sibley Newton with Terabella Assisted Living. Whether you are a senior planning for your own future or helping someone make decisions, Senior Moments has got information to share. We talk about the wealth of services, activities, and healthy living options available to you here in our area. That's Senior Moments on C19 and also on c19.tv.
She gets her hair from her mom, her eyes from her dad, and her drugs from her home medicine cabinet. Fact: more people die from drug overdoses than from car crashes or gun violence. And over 50% of those deaths are from prescription drugs. Prescription drug abuse is preventable. 1. Secure and take regular inventory of our medications. 2. Dispose of unused or expired medications. 3. Share this message with others. Be aware. Don't share. Lock your meds.
Here in Cleveland County, many children struggle to develop due to the lack of guidance and shortage of positive role models. At the Boys and Girls Club, we make it our team's mission to aid your child in becoming a better student and, more importantly, a better person with a brighter future.
When your child comes to the club, you can be assured they are being guided in a manner that is beneficial to the growth as an adult that is visible in their lives. Please consider giving your child the opportunity to be the absolute best they can possibly be.
Please support your local Boys and Girls Club today.
Well, we're so glad you came back with us on Talk of the Town this week right here on C19 TV. I'm your host, Tim Foster. As we're into August now and almost back to school for the kids. And we've just got a great show going on today with Reverend Francis Weber and Carolyn Behringer with Washington Outreach Ministries, as we were talking about all the wonderful parts of this organization, what it's given back to the community, to individuals. And Reverend Weber, I want to talk to you as we welcome you back into the show. A little bit about, we talked about days when folks can come in and get items, but we didn't really get into the items. So what are we talking about a little bit as far as what's available with Washington Outreach Ministries as this is such a wonderful blessing to many?
Well, when you talk about food insecurity and the food needs, Washington Outreach could be classified as a one-stop shop. Because everything that you get from the grocery stores is what we stock at Washington Outreach Ministry, because everything we stock comes from all the grocery stores.
Right.
And so that's a big shout out to all the grocery stores that are in partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank that make this happen for us. And the fact that all this food is given free, there's really no requirement. The only thing you have to have is a need. And when you come to our doors, we will serve you, and we will serve you eloquently.
Yes.
As food is available. And we have not ran out of food yet, and we're grateful for that. Even with some of the budget cuts coming down, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're working on other projects to make sure that we sustain what we're doing. But it takes the whole community of Cleveland County to support what we're doing. we could not do free stuff and serve the community without all the agencies, the grantors, all the community donors, because Washington Outreach Ministry really don't have funding. We depend on community services.
Community services
Yeah,
support,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, community, the county commissioners, and
Yeah.
I mean all the entities that make this happen for Cleveland County. It's just we're just grateful that people are really buying in and believe in what we're doing for the communities.
And everybody's all in on it because
Yes.
it is such a blessing
Yes.
on that. And Carolyn, before we get into talking about your fundraiser
Okay.
that'll be coming up here next month, I just want to talk about how has this ministry blessed you? I mean, I know that, because we were talking about during the break, just the growth that you continue to have, but how does this ministry bless you personally?
Well, personally, the growth that I've received, personally, like the training, being
Yeah.
a mentor and stepping out in faith. And, and Reverend Weber, she always, she's a great mentor. And we always go into I don't know how she do it, can find out what you're capable of doing. And then she pushes you and she pushes you and she pushes you. The next thing you know, you're doing fundraisers, raising $40,000, $50,000 a year
Yeah.
because of the way that the training that she gives.
Yeah.
And she always say, iron sharpens iron, iron sharpens iron. What she knows, she passes it on to us and we pass it on to somebody else. So I've been blessed by that, and I've also been blessed by the food ministry as well.
Yes.
The food ministry as well, because we're there and blessed by talking to other people that's coming in that's hurting. People they're hurting, and they'll talk to you. And some of the school system people and Dr. Fisher,
Yeah.
the openness that the community has for us as a group. As
Yeah,
an entity.
and I think it's just awesome that from our educational system to those in public office, it's just a
Yeah.
blessing all the way
Yes.
around. Well, Carolyn, talk a little bit about, you got a big fundraiser, and you
Yes.
mentioned it a little bit, and it's been big over recent years, and it's gotten even bigger. Talk about your fundraiser and what that's going to mean for Washington Outreach Ministries, some dates, and a little bit more about that as that's going to be coming up down the road.
Yes, we have a fundraiser that's coming up in September 13th. This is our 9th annual WOM bike run. These are bikers,
Yeah.
and the main person that's going to be helping us is the Royal Priesthood. We have about 40 people that's coming from Royal Priesthood that's going to be coming. They actually come. They've been coming for the last 9 years, which they actually started this out for us.
Yes.
And it's going to be September the 13th, and it's going to be start at 9 o'clock, where they come and register. They register, and the registration is $25 for the person, and that's for them the bike run and their meal If it's extra rider is $10. This includes the meal, and we're going to set up vendors this time. So this time we're going to have vendors out if you need a table.
And this will be in Cherville?
This is going to be in Cherville. It's going to
Okay.
be 2007 Capernia
So it'll
Road.
be on Capernia.
On
yeah.
Capernia Road.
Yeah.
On Capernia Road. And we just want everybody to come out and support us with this, because this is a fundraiser, and this fundraiser helps toward our summer youth ministry and the overall of our facilities. And
Yeah, and Francis, this is a great event because, again, it may give folks that maybe have not really got their hands in on Washington Outreach Ministries, maybe their first experience with that, and then you get those that have been a blessing for many years. Talk about this event on September 13th. I know you're excited about it.
Yeah, we're excited. We will actually have plates, hot dogs, hamburgers, and fish plates with all the trimmings, and I think the plates for $15.
correct.
Yeah.
We will deliver if there's 5 plates or more. Someone want to call the barber shop or
Yeah.
the beauty shop, and
Or a
we will
business,
deliver.
so a
Or
business wants to
businesses,
do it, yeah.
yes. And like I said, like Carolyn said, all this funding support our summer camp and the overall ministry. In order to be able to provide the services and continue the services, we have to do the fundraisers for sustainability.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're, like you say, nonprofit standalone. We are a standalone nonprofit
Yes.
that depends heavily on the community to support these events.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a great one, ladies and gentlemen, September 13th. And you said, Carolyn, starts at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's
and,
correct.
And then of course, you're going to have vendors out there, and then the bike run will
Yes.
be occurring later in the day, and
It
that's going to
starts
be
out there.
Yeah, be right out there. So it's going to be an awesome event. And then also, I'm assuming, Francis, you can get some information. You can be educated about Washington Outreach Ministries. And what if I want to volunteer? Talk a little bit about that. How can I volunteer?
Any Wednesday or Friday between 9:30 to about 2:30. Just show up, and we provide any tools that you need to work. The community is invited. We welcome you to come to help support, to be part of a great ministry of Cleveland County.
Yeah, I think that's very awesome. And then we'll look a little bit further down the road, Carolyn, and one of the big events that you guys have, and I know we're talking about stuff in December here, and people may think, well, it'll be here before you know it, because we're already heading into the end of summer, into early fall, but that's your Parade of Tables, and talk a little bit about that, Carolyn.
The Parade of Tables is awesome. It's when we first started, we started out, and I think the first year that I was the event planner, was 20,000. Then it went from 20 to 30, from 30 to 40. Now this year it's 50,000.
Well, it goes back to that, the little more of the push
Yeah,
as you were
push,
talking about.
because
Yeah,
you know, because
it
when
goes up a
funds
little
go,
bit.
when the funding go get
Yeah.
cut, then you have to raise your
Absolutely.
expertise. So that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
that's
we raise,
pretty simple math there. For sure.
Yeah.
Talk about the Parade of Tables. So I'm sure a business can do it. How many do you like to have to complete a table? How many individuals are we talking about?
individual table is eight place set and 8 people at your table, and that will be 320. So you can get one table, you can get 5.
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
tables.
which you would love to see.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. It's 320 for the table, and you decorate your table. If you don't want to decorate your table, then Washington Outreach Ministry will decorate the tables for you. And this is, like I say, this is one of our biggest events, and it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. If you ever looked at our site and look at our pictures, you'll see such beautiful pictures of the Parade of Tables. Now, we're talking about $50,000. Now, we have over 120 churches in Cleveland County.
Yes, we do.
So if we just think about the math, if we just have 50 churches to give us $1,000.
You don't even need half the churches.
I
That's just a quarter of the
Just a
churches.
quarter of a church. If
Yeah.
50 churches would give us $1,000, then we have our $50,000. If 100 churches give $500, then we still have our $50,000. So
Yeah.
we're asking the churches to feed into our ministry, to feed into our Parade of Tables. You know, it's gonna be a masquerade. You don't have to show up. Just make a donation.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carolyn's right, Francis. It's really beautiful to see how they're all decorated. Obviously, we're heading into the holidays at about that
Absolutely.
time. So you get a little bit of everything. But I think the most important thing, and Carolyn kind of touched on it, Francis, is everybody getting involved. This is a ministry
That's
for
it.
everybody. This is a ministry
Yeah.
that obviously, if you give into, you're going to be blessed beyond.
Absolutely.
But it truly is everybody, because you never know the person giving may be the one that may be on the other side. When they talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a blessing to give.
Yes.
It really is. And the more you give, it seems like the more our ministry is expanding. And we just want people to know that to be part of something great for Cleveland County, no one in Cleveland County should be hungry. And then when you think of all the catastrophes that we've seen, we keep talking about the Helene and the Texas
Yes.
situation, and those people, you know, worked all their lives to get to where they were, and then overnight they lost everything.
Yes.
And we don't know who's going to be in that line, and we all are one step from maybe being in somebody's line because of a catastrophe.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
yeah. Well, I
so-
think I think about Helene almost a year ago. Over 90% of our county was without power for, in some cases, over a week.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you thought that a storm that was way down in the Gulf of Mexico,
Wow.
within 2 days, it shot through here like a cannon.
But you know
And,
what was
you know,
interesting about
yeah.
that storm? All around Cleveland County, on Capernaum Road, we had power.
Isn't that amazing?
All around us in the community. Because if we had lost power, we would have lost all the food and everything.
Yeah.
So what happened is all the people, the agencies in the community, guess where they came?
They came to,
They came to
Washington
Capernaum.
Outreach Ministry.
Absolutely.
In Capernaum, yeah.
And the families that had without power for a whole week, we were able to replenish their foods. We actually sent 4 trucks to Asheville during the Helene situation. So this whole thing is a blessing. It is a blessing. It's a blessing from God. And
Yeah, wow.
it takes a village to raise a community. when we come together and work together and people can see what's happening in Cleveland County, it's an opportunity to replicate what we're doing in Cleveland County into other counties.
Yeah.
So it's a lot there to be learned. It's a lot to be learned.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and really just amazing stories from what we've heard in today's show. If folks want more information, as we wind down now, just website, phone number, what's the best way to reach you guys?
Go ahead,
Carolyn, what's the best way to reach you guys?
WM 2007 Capernia Road, or you can reach me at on my cell phone number 704-718-7244.
Yeah, we see that on the screen. Yeah.
Yes, and you can also, go to our website,
Yes.
Facebook. We're on Facebook, so there's.
So you are on Facebook.
Yes, we're on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part. When you guys first started, I was just thinking about it. You're talking about 30 years. There wasn't much going on with
No,
Facebook in the mid 90s.
It wasn't.
A lot of people of that generation, we haven't always had, for a little bit of our younger audience, hadn't always had the Instagrams and the Facebook. So
Right.
in those early years, it truly was a lot of word of mouth.
Absolutely.
But we are blessed now to be able to, and as you talked about, a lot of ways with Facebook and other social media outlets, but just a lot of different ways to get in touch with you guys, Frances,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck with the fundraiser on September 13th at their location. And then, of course, parade of tables that'll be coming up later in the year. And as we talked about, you can get in touch with either one of these ladies and find out more about Washington Outreach Ministries. Ladies, I just want to thank you for what you do for Cleveland County and the surrounding areas, the hard work. And I just will continue to be excited, and lots of prayers for continued growth and just seeing what the good Lord brings on into 2020, the rest of 2025 and 2026, because it's been an amazing year so far.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you both for being on Talk of the Town.
Thank you.
Hey, if you've got story ideas you see on the bottom of your screen, just send us some email
Cash
at
App.
info@c19.tv. And as we head on into the fall, those are ways that we'll get more story ideas. I've been Tim Foster. Of course, you're watching Talk of the Town, and we'll see you again next week. Join us this October for Cleveland Community College Foundation's 5th Annual Yetis Athletics Golf Tournament. Your support funds student athletes, helping them succeed every step of the way. Play with purpose. Tee off for student success. Visit cccyetis.com to register today.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I said, it's alright.